Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
7:37, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, Mary Catherine Ham. Want to get straight to our next guest. He is Danny Ayalon. He's a deputy foreign minister for Israel. And, of course, today, Mahmoud Abbas is supposed to try to push forward this issue of Palestinian statehood, recognizing the Palestinians as a state in the United Nations. And, Danny, it's good to have you on the line.
Thank you so much, Brian.
I want to give you a chance to talk about that, but I want to start with just a slightly different tack. How concerned is the administration of Benjamin Netanyahu and Israelis in general about what many perceive to be a weakness by the Obama administration on Israeli issues? I mean, we know that American Jews are certainly concerned about it, and we know for certain that the Jews who lived in New York District 9 were very concerned about it. How does this play in Israel, and how does it play with the Netanyahu administration?
Well, thank you. Not very much, I can tell you. Well, for American Jews, they're first and foremost Americans, so they are very much involved here in the local politics. For us, we are very careful not to get in between Republicans and Democrats. In that case, we see them all as Americans, and I think one of the real strengths of the great relationship between Israel and the United States, this natural alliance, is also the fact that Israel is a consensus issue between Republicans and Democrats, that because Israel is like a little America in the Middle East in terms of our values and everything else.
Danny, you're being a good diplomat, and I appreciate that, but I really got to sort of bear down on you about this question. Do you have concerns about the perceived weakness that many people see of the Obama administration when it comes to defending Israel's right to exist as a state?
No, not really, and if we look at the record, it's anyone in the White House has been very supportive of Israel's security, because ultimately it's American security. And, Israel is not just a bastion of democracy, but also a beacon of hope and example, especially now when we are expecting this so-called Arab Spring. So far, we are the only democracy. We believe that we should not be the only one in the region, and only democracies, democratic countries and societies can make peace and do not wage war on one another. So we will continue to work together, and again, we very much appreciate the Obama administration backing, like any administration, because it's something which is almost a no-brainer, the relationship and the cooperation between Israel and the United States. Also, we are united shoulder to shoulder, working on counterterrorism internationally, on stopping the proliferation of nuclear activities. There's so many things that bind us together.
Speaking of the White House, former President Bill Clinton, diagnosing the disagreement here, sort of laid it at Netanyahu's feet, said he'd move the goalpost, and went on to say, sort of divide Israeli society into the most pro-peace Jewish Israelis are the Sabras, second come Ashkenazi Jews, and then Moroccans are sort of a swing vote. What do you think of his A, putting it at Netanyahu's feet, and B, sort of describing the constituencies in this sort of ethnic fashion?
Well, I have the highest regard for President Clinton. He's also a great, great friend of the State of Israel. I know him personally. But here, I'm afraid he a little bit misspoke, because I'm not sure that he really knows what he's talking about. Analyzing the Israeli society from demographic or socialist, or what's the fabric
sociological
of the society? I think he's all wet here. I'm sorry to say. He is a great leader and a politician, but not so much as a demograph, I'm afraid.
You brought up the Arab Spring. I'm wondering, what is your relationship right now with Egypt?
I think it's good. We have a peace a treaty which is solid, will continue, I believe, to be solid. Israel will do its utmost to make sure that this will still stay as the bedrock for stability of the Middle East, and we will wait for the process to be complete. We are not intervening, and we just wish and hope for all the peoples in the region, and of course, first and foremost, our Egyptian friends, to materialize their rights to exercise and to shape their own future as they can without any foreign intervening. The problem here is that we still see Iranian agents, the radical Shiites and the radical Ayatollahs in Iran are trying to interfere. And they are sending their agents, either directly or through proxies, Hezbollah and Hamas, to try and agitate and actually hijack this very spontaneous and genuine revolutions in the different countries, and to make them Islamic revolutions, just like they did in 79 in Tehran, and this is the main danger.
I said I'd give you a chance to talk about the vote that's scheduled in the UN today. Mahmoud Abbas is going to try to make the case that the Palestinians should be recognized as a state. Give me the Israeli position about why you think that's a bad idea.
First, because it's against the agreement, and we must honor words, we must honor deeds, we must honor our obligation. We have a written agreement with the Palestinians that we sit together until a white smoke comes between us, and only then we go to the UN. And if you just change the process on its top and first go to the UN, what will the UN talk about? Can they replace the parties when it comes to deciding on the territories and borders and water allocation and security arrangements? We have a great example, and that is South Sudan. South Sudan, which is the latest member state to join the UN, they did it after a very, very difficult process of negotiation. But only after this was complete between the parties in South Sudan, they came to the UN together. There is nothing we would like better than joining hands with the Palestinians and coming together to the UN after we iron out all the differences. But if you go to the UN, that means to me that the Palestinians do not want to take the tough decisions.
Danny, I just had a second left, and I got to ask you the question: will Netanyahu and Abbas be sitting down together?
I hope so, and this is where I am a little bit, begging to differ on President Clinton. Netanyahu was waiting on the table for the last 2.5 years. He is waiting now. It was Abbas who never stepped up to the plate, and we're still waiting and hoping that he will join us in negotiations.
Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister Danny Ayalon, thank you for joining us here in the Morning Majority.
Thank you very much.